Recording in progress.
Turn on the mic. That and your vow, giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now, my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Last one. Wake now, my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with work toward a planet transformed by our care. Thank you. You may be seated.
Welcome to the Namakwa Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are glad you are here. My name is AnnMarie Kajencki. My pronouns are she and her, and I am your worship associate for today. The programs are being printed as I speak, and they will be passed out during the service. So if you're wondering why you don't have a little slip of paper telling you what to do, that is the reason why. Oh, they've been passed out, so keep the announcements short. This is a come as you are congregation, and you are welcome here just as you are. I want to extend a special welcome to any visitors. We would love to stay connected, so please sign up for our communications at the main entrance. Here at Namakwa, we foster a beloved community that celebrates diversity, strives for peace and justice, acts mindfully for the good of the planet, and inspires spiritual growth through a free and loving search for truth and meaning. We honor the ground we walk upon and acknowledge this land as the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, Ute, and Lakota nations and peoples. We recognize and honor the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and vow to reconcile the deep wounds that still shape our world today. This week, Monday, March 9th, West African drumming class will meet in Parker Hall, 11 to 12:30 p.m. Friday, March 13th, open mic night, a low-pressure evening of performance and community. Men's group will meet in Parker Hall Saturday, March 14th, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. Those of you who need a pledge statement for the 2025 pledges, they are available in Breeze, and if you are not able to access them in Breeze, you can contact Jeannie Miller. Coffee hour after today's service, please join us, next Sunday, March 15th, join worship associates Kathy Hartman and Alan Van Nest as they explore Everything You Think Is Wrong Day. Coffee hour after today's service, please join us next door in Parker Hall.
That's a 3-hour service.
For coffee, food, and stimulating conversation. Thank you to everyone involved in today's service. And I just want to say something before I step down. I was walking to the building this morning. Vicky Carr and I were leaving our cars at the same time, and a big white, pretty, beautifully polished, big white car drove by us, rolled down her window, and told us to go to a real church. And Vicky and I started laughing. I'm happy to hear you laughing also. Well, it did me.
This year, our pledge drive theme is appropriately called Building a Better Way. With all the changes taking place at Namakwa this year, here are words of inspiration from our president, Rebecca Williamson, and longtime member, Brian Jarvis.
Morning. I looked at that up there. I'm going, actually, I haven't changed my name to president. It's still Rebecca. So As we move through these last days of Reverend Dana's ministry with us, your elected leaders are working together to assure that Namakwa continues on. We're talking with staff to learn how we can support them. We're making a list of possible guest ministers to contact for Sunday services. We're discussing how best to handle pastoral care needs. We're ramping up our worship associate support so they can be even more wonderful than they already are. We're staying flexible so that we're ready for those things we didn't know. And we're enlisting folks to plan a goodbye thank you celebration in honor of Dana's time with us. We are building a new way forward. And on that new way, we're building on the foundation that had always been Namakwa. We're building on the incredible community we've made together, the community that faces challenges with courage, embraces change with open hearts, and holds values that unite us in resilience, collaboration, and kindness. We are building on our ability to adapt and grow that stems from our shared commitment to engage in meaningful, authentic conversations, to listen to each other, and to find paths forward that contain our combined wisdom. Above all, we're building on our kindness that defines us and brings so many new people into our congregation, kindness that keeps us coming back Sunday after Sunday. Our warm-heartedness is not abstract. It is lived out in tangible, everyday ways every day, not in the least of which is our willingness to open our wallets for what we believe in. In closing, I want to thank you for being a congregation that leads with love, embraces generosity, and walks together with integrity and hope. As we journey forward in the next months, let us remember that our unity makes us stronger than any obstacle we may encounter. We are indeed building a new way, grounded on a solid foundation. Thank you.
Wow. Can you hear me? Here I am. I'm Brian Jarvis, who started my NUC journey 10 years ago at the young age of 75. Right now, I recognize that NUC was my community where I wanted to be part of. When I think about building a new way, what comes to mind is how NUC can build a new way as an organization, but not as individuals. What if we thought of the importance of social connection in building a new way? What inspired me to become active at NUC was the interaction with other members and the friendships that have developed over the years. Social interactions are strong connections that are vital for cognitive health and memory. Studies have shown that socially active people have lower rates of depression, better cognitive function, and increased longevity compared to those who are socially isolated. Maintaining active connections, social connections, is important for emotional and psychological well-being. Spending time with friends and family to avoid becoming isolated. Studies have shown that social isolation causes a 50% increase in dementia. Some of the social connections for health. It boosts immunity, improves cognitive health, reduces stress, helps to stay physically active, enhances self-esteem, improves longevity, and combats depression. Stay connected with this community of people I admire as we share a common perspective in almost all issues and beliefs. Is the main reason I stay active in this community. I feel that my involvement in NUUC activities and relationships have been a major source of my mental and emotional stability over these late years of my life. Thank you all.
And now, if you will, please join me in saying our congregational affirmation. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service its call. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And let us share in the spirit of love by greeting those around you for a minute.
This one's for you too, this time. Would you stand, rise in body and spirit, and sing with me with heart and mind? With heart and mind and voice and hand, may we this time and spent place transcend to make our purpose understood. A mortal search for mortal good, a firm commitment to the goal of justice, freedom, peace for all. A mind that's free to seek the truth. A mind that's free in age and youth to choose a path no threat impedes, where sanctified conscience leads. Our martyrs died so we could be a church where every mind is free. A heart that's kind, a heart whose search makes love the spirit of our church, where we can grow and each one's gift is sanctified and spirits lift, where every door is open wide for all who choose to step inside.
We'll have a time for all ages. Please come forward. Yeah, just have a seat here. We're going to do something I bet you've never done before. Pretty exciting. We're going to eat a strawberry. You've never eaten a strawberry before? You've eaten a strawberry before? Oh my goodness. Well, what's special about the way we're going to eat these strawberries, what's different, is the way we're going to eat it. We're going to have a strawberry meditation. Whoa, what's that? So first of all, parents, any allergies to strawberries? Okay, that's the anaphylactic shock. We can avoid that. Good. I also have some hand sanitizer. Is that okay too? Okay, we're good here. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to squirt a little bit of hand sanitizer so we just have clean hands for our strawberries. And then if we need it, we won't. We're not going to be messy, but just if we need it, we've got paper towels for napkins. All right, there we go. And now, the way we're going to eat these strawberries, we're going to eat them almost as slowly as we can. So we're not going to eat them fast, we're going to eat them real slowly. And even before we eat them, we're going to just notice them. So each person can take a strawberry. Do you want to take one? Yeah. And now, what we're going to do, I'll join you, we're just going to notice the strawberry, just look at it. What do you notice about a strawberry?
That they're red and have little seeds.
They're red and they have little seeds? Good. That's great.
They're juicy.
They look juicy. Yeah, they sure do. And you smelled yours. What does yours smell like? It smells like a strawberry, right? Yeah. It's like, yeah. Yeah, just take a good deep whiff of the strawberry. All right, so now we're going to start our strawberry meditation. And the way we're going to start out on that, we're going to get in a comfortable position, which is harder for me to do these days. And just get comfortable.
And then you can pick up your strawberry. And what does your strawberry feel like?
Soft.
It's soft and kind of cold. Yeah, it's been in the refrigerator. How's a little wet? Yeah.
Slippery.
It's a little slippery. Yeah. Now, if you like, you can close your eyes and just hold it up to your nose again and breathe in and smell the strawberry. And now we're not going to bite the strawberry. We're going to slowly place it, the whole thing, in our mouth, if it'll fit. So just put it all in your mouth. And then see if you can feel it with your tongue. Will yours not fit? Is it too big? You could take a slow bite if you like. You can take a slow bite. And then just feel the strawberry with your tongue and roll it around in your mouth. And feel the bumps. And notice where your tongue goes to explore it. And when you're ready, you can take a bite of it. Just notice that flavor and the aroma and your tongue exploring the strawberry. And it has a slippery side where I cut off the stem, or actually my wife did. And the bumpy sides. And now slowly chew the strawberry and notice its juices cover your mouth. And notice that your throat wants to swallow it, and that's fine. And you can just slowly take bites and chew your strawberry up, and you can swallow it when you like. When you're ready, when you're through, take another deep breath. And we've got some slow strawberry eaters. That's fine. Do you notice the strawberry? Is it good?
Sour.
It's a sour strawberry. Rat. I didn't pre-test them. And you can put the rest of your strawberry in your cup when you're through. Or you can take it with you. Yeah. But if you take it with you, take a nap. Okay. One more deep breath in. And out. All right. And thank you for doing a strawberry meditation. Can we form an arch?
We send our children off with love, short and tall, we love them all. We send our children off with love, we hope they know how cherished they are. We hope they know how cherished they are.
Rosemary, a poem by Rosemary Wahtola Trommer titled Because. So I can't save the world, can't save even myself, can't wrap my arms around every frightened child, can't foster peace among nations, can't bring love to all who feel unlovable. So I practice opening my heart right here in this room and being gentle with my insufficiency. I practice walking down the street heart first. And if it is insufficient to share love, I will practice loving anyway. I want to converse about truth, about trust, I want to invite compassion into every interaction. One willing heart can't stop a war. One willing heart can't feed all the hungry. And sometimes, daunted by a task too big, I tell myself, what's the use of trying? But today, the invitation is clear: to be ridiculously courageous in love, to open the heart like a lilac in May, knowing freeze is possible and opening anyway, to take love seriously, to give love wildly, to race up to the world as if I were a puppy, adoring and unjaded, stumbling on my own exuberance, to feel the shock of indifference, of anger, of cruelty, of fear, and stay open, to love as if it matters, as if the world depends on it. We may encounter indifference, anger, cruelty, fear, and yet we must keep opening ourselves. Surely the world does indeed depend on our love, and since it most certainly matters, we must keep trying.
Thank you, AnnMarie. Each week, you support the work of this congregation and all the ways we live our values in the world through your generosity. In addition to supporting this congregation, a portion of your donations support a local nonprofit, helping us to make a difference beyond our walls. Our shared plate recipient for the months of March and April is the Worthy Now Prison Ministry of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, which is part of the UUA. This life-saving, life-affirming ministry to incarcerated Unitarian Universalists recognizes that all people are worthy, just as they are, of love and of justice. The membership of the Church of the Larger Fellowship includes a growing number of incarcerated UUs from around the United States. This ministry works to overcome the isolation and dehumanization of our prison system. One of the ways they do this is through a pen pal and a pen pal program. And I know that there's more than one of us that are involved in that. So you can look at CLF, Church of the Larger Fellowship, pen pal, if you want to become a pen pal to an incarcerated UU. The Worthy Now ministry shares its goals with the whole of the Church of the Larger Fellowship to connect, deepen, and act our Unitarian Universalist values. Please give generously.
What is that? This is the only one I have.
We come together each week to share our lives and care for each other through all that life brings. If you have a brief personal joy or sorrow you would like to share, please come forward or raise your hand for Jesse to bring the mic to you. And we will also welcome those of you who are on Zoom to also include your joys and sorrows. And if you wouldn't mind saying your name before you, or when you start speaking, so we know who you are.
We have a golden eagle in a tree near our house. And it's been coming day after day, and if anybody wants to see it, call us and see if it's there and come. We'd love to have you. It's on Logan Drive.
Hi, my name is Kathy, and I just got an email from Aspen Hicks, and Aspen and her husband were married here last summer, and they just welcomed Orion Matthew on February 28th, and I've got pictures I can share.
Hi, I'm Jeff. My joy is that I'm going to be leading the open mic night this Friday. And for those of you who remember the open mic here before, we're going to have a little different format, but we would love it if you come and either perform or just come to listen. So if anybody has any questions. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. If there are any other questions, I'll be in Parker Hall after the service. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dylan. My joy is I'm home. I've been too far away to come to the church. I just never could make it in, but I just moved back to Loveland a few days ago, so I'm home.
Hi, everyone. I'm Simon. I'm new here. This is only my second Sunday. I showed up because I had a question for the Reverend. I had no intention of coming back, and then somehow I became part of the choir and the uke ensemble. And I came to the mindfulness group by accident, and it was a great experience. And I plan to come to the drum circle, and this meditation group sounds interesting too. So I guess I'm a member now.
Choir's a dangerous place. You might never leave.
We do have one on This is from Andrea Longo. I was laid off this week along with my entire team and several other people. The job market right now is very difficult, and this puts some of my teammates in very difficult situations. I welcome your good thoughts for all of us to find new jobs.
In our heart.
To Jesse and Sherry. Thank you so much, Jesse and Jerry. Well, I hope after the reflection today that you come back again next Sunday. So we'll see how this goes. I forgot to introduce myself earlier. I'm Doug Stewart, one of our worship associates. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine, Mary Oliver says in her beautiful poem, Wild Geese. I want to start by sharing a bit about my despair. Be assured, I intend to move on to a more upbeat note, but despair first. Lately, over the past year or so, I felt discouraged so many times because of our political situation. Discouragement doesn't do the feeling justice. Hopelessness, maybe, existential angst, despair for the human race. I joke that rather than rooting for us, we humans have made such a mess of things that I'm starting to root for AI. It just seems to me like we're falling backwards in time and there's nothing I can do to stop the regression. Just a week ago, Kansas invalidated transgender driver licenses and transgender birth certificates. Last year, the Trump administration banned transgender people from serving in the military. I date my own transgender advocacy as growing in the first decade or so of the 2000s, so now I've fallen back 20 years ago or more. Last year, the administration reversed Title VII protections, which prohibited workplace discrimination against LGBTQ plus individuals. My college roommate was gay. And now that's before my advocacy on that some 40-odd years ago. The odds pretty big there. President Trump's Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. So now we're back to before my high school graduation. His administration is attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, undermining the civil rights movement that I grew up with. So now I'm back in the 1960s, maybe, before Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, with me not yet a teen. I keep falling back in time. Freedom of speech and freedom of the press are under attack, with the administration restricting press access, using the Department of Justice to target journalists, and using lawsuits to attack media outlets like the radically liberal Wall Street Journal. So now I'm back before the Bill of Rights was created in 1791. It seems to me we're going back further still. Science, our best understanding of how the world works, is being ignored or even disparaged with the denial of climate change and its human causes, or of the benefit of vaccines, which saved my generation from polio, my parents' generation from tuberculosis, and the 19th century from smallpox. Imagine living in a mechanical lung all your life. Vaccine efficacy is disparaged by none other than the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. A Kennedy. If you were a fiction writer, you'd have been fired for a plot line like that. It's just so unbelievable. Science is being dismantled, replaced by lies, the undoing of the CDC, EPA, and countless government research arms, including Boulder's National Center for Atmospheric Research. Truth and rationality are sacrificed for whatever can be said or claimed to further power and self-interest. In 2018, Trump's former political strategist, Steve Bannon, told journalist Michael Lewis, the real opposition is the media, and the way to deal with them is to flood the zone with shit. Never mind what is true or not, or whether it makes rational sense, say whatever serves the powers that be. So now I've gone back to an age before reason really became a thing, before we believed in an objective reality we could make sense out of, before the Renaissance, before the Enlightenment. We're back in a time of random happenings and miracles where we pay bribes to the kings for favors. Back to a time before the Magna Carta limited royalty. Back to a time when power with no limitations was held by feudal lords and by kings and queens. Back to the Middle Ages, flirting, it seems to me, in the depths of my despair, of when I'm in despair, with the Dark Ages. Anyone been there? What can I do? What can I do against this onslaught pushing me back in time, me seeing the foundations of the way I want us to work together and live together as a society crumbling beneath my feet? How can I possibly make a difference? How can I possibly matter? Against all that, how can I possibly matter? Today, I'd like to suggest I matter and you matter in at least 3 ways. And at least 2 of them are independent of the circumstances we find ourselves in. The first way I can matter very much does depend on my circumstances. I can matter by moving the needle, by effecting change on my circumstances at the societal level or at a personal level. This is what we normally think of when we think of mattering, that we make a difference in the external objective world, whether it's affecting a city council vote or nurturing a flower in my garden or just washing the dishes. People, even me, might be able to move the needle in small ways, and enough small ways can add up in our own life and in the lives of others and our world. Thank goodness for the people who put their time and energy into this. At a societal level, they include people who handed out food in community kitchen last Friday evening, who write letters to the editors or their representatives, who attend the city council meetings, who stand on the street corners with their signs. Frontline responders, Deborah Ayer calls them in her book, Social Change Now. In addition to people who take the frontline responder role, she says to move the needle, we need to act as weavers, storytellers, healers, guides, visionaries, builders, caregivers, and more. Each of us, each in our own way. Moving the needle for society needs all sorts of talents and energies. As Marge Piercy says in her poem, To Be of Use, I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. Yet, moving the needle can be difficult and can depend very much on the circumstances. I can imagine circumstances in which it is really impossible to do. I often felt that way as a UU when I lived in Salt Lake City, which at the time was considerably even more conservative than it is now. How could you move that predominant culture around women's rights and LGBTQ plus rights, a culture calcified by a religious belief system? Which brings us to the question, how can I matter if I'm in a circumstance where I find I can't move the needle? So I think there's a second way I can matter that is more subtle than focusing directly on affecting external reality. Its purpose is indirect. It doesn't move the needle, but it prepares the needle for moving. It's putting oil on the needle's pivot point. Let me introduce the thought by reading from my old favorite, it's been a while, Robert Pirsig's Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Someone has said something to him that has suddenly coalesced a whole set of thoughts in his mind. Seed crystal, A powerful fragment of memory comes back now, the laboratory, organic chemistry. He was working with an extremely supersaturated solution when something similar had happened to the coalescing. A supersaturated solution is one in which the saturation point, at which no more material will dissolve, has been exceeded. This can occur because the saturation point becomes higher as the temperature of the solution is increased. When you dissolve the material at a high temperature and then cool the solution, the material sometimes doesn't crystallize out of it because the molecules don't know how. They require something to get them started, a seed crystal, or a grain of dust, or even a sudden scratch or tap on the surrounding glass. He walked to the water tap to cool the solution, but he never got there. Before his eyes, as he walked, he saw a star of crystalline material in the solution appear and then suddenly grow and radiantly fill the entire vessel. He saw it grow. Where before there was only a clear liquid, there was now a mass so solid he could turn the vessel upside down and nothing would come out. A seed crystal more than moves the needle. It pegs the needle. It brings a paradigm shift, a new way of being. The world will never be the same. It's the I have a dream speech. It's the Declaration of Independence. It's the Magna Carta. It's turn the other cheek. A seed crystal brings us back to the first way of mattering, moving the needle. Only a seed crystal turns out to move the needle big time. But for a seed crystal to do its work, there first has to be a supersaturated solution, like putting more sugar in hot water to make rock candy. For love to flow smoothly, it needs a channel. There first has to be a channel to help the love flow. I'd like to suggest that even if I don't see a way to move the needle, a second way I can matter is to help make the solution supersaturated, to widen and deepen the channel, to grease the skids for love. For a love that my faith says will come again and come again more strongly. And then the world will never be the same. That's my faith talking. I can grease the skids anytime I can make it easier to love. How do you make it easier to love? You know in your heart. Anything that builds trust, that tells someone I take you into account, that I've got your back. Taking someone's shopping cart back to the grocery store, opening a door for someone whose hands are full, letting someone into my lane in traffic. Any way of letting someone else know they matter. Random acts of kindness, even unseen, put love out there. Make it a practice. Supersaturating the world, awaiting that seed crystal. I have faith that it will come when we've readied the solution. We are the solution. So that's a second way you and I matter. We're the solution, and we can supersaturate it with love for love to come. Then there's at least a third way we can matter, maybe more subtle still, maybe ultimately the most important one. You know the Zen koan about the man being chased by a tiger and the strawberry? We've heard that story here before, but maybe it's been a while. And anyway, the story bears repeating. A Zen koan is a story meant to bring the listener to the edge of rationality, and then perhaps a step beyond, kind of a tease. This version of the tiger and the strawberry koan is translated by Paul Reps in Zen Flesh, Zen Bones. A man traveling across a field encountered a tiger. He fled, the tiger after him. Coming to a precipice, He caught hold of a root of a wild vine and swung himself down over the edge. The tiger sniffed at him from above. Trembling, the man looked down to where, far below, another tiger was waiting to eat him. Only the vine sustained him. 2 mice, one white and one black, little by little, started to gnaw away at the vine. The man saw a luscious strawberry near him. Grasping the vine with one hand, he plucked the strawberry with the other. How sweet it tasted. I believe one of the ways I matter and you matter is the experience we bring. I'm going to try to say this in 3 ways. The easiest way is aimed at those of you who believe in God, the Great Spirit, by whatever name you use. For shorthand, I'll use the God term here. For those of you who believe in God, one of the attributes normally associated with God is omniscience. God is all-knowing. If I experience a strawberry, then God experiences that strawberry through me. So I bring the experience of a sweetly tasting strawberry to God. God experiences me. I bring my experiences to God. Surely then my experiences matter, as does each of ours. Take 2 of this idea, only a little less traditionally theological and closer to where I am in my own beliefs. Process theology says God is the unfolding experience of the universe. God is the unfolding experience of the universe. Then again, any experience I have adds to the experiencing of the universe. What I choose to do and what happens to me matters. My experience matters to the universe. A dog's smile matters. What if you don't believe in God or flirt with process theology? I suppose my answer is life. Experiencing a strawberry, watching a sunset, laughing. Better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Dreaming of a better world. A world that yet can be. These are things even the most repressive regime can't touch in my life if I don't let them. I matter simply because I experience. You matter then in at least these 3 ways. You matter because you can move the needle, and move the needle in so many ways. You frontline responders, you visionaries, you garden tenders and dishwashers, you of many talents and cares. And then you matter because you help supersaturate the solution that we make together by adding your bit of sugar a bit at a time to grease the skids for a love that will come. And you matter because your experience matters to God or the universe, or just because you bring an unfolding, unique experience of being alive, one the universe has never seen before and never will again. At all times, even now, especially in this here and now, you matter. You'll find a strawberry for you in Parker Hall.
Wonderful world. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
We extinguish this flame, but not the truth, the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
Join us for coffee hour afterwards.
Sydney.
Go your way in peace. Wander as you may. Blessed is the path you take. May love guide you on your way. Go your way in peace. Wander as you may, blessed is the path you take. May love guide you on your way. And enjoy those strawberries.